IVM.
Saving is the hardest thing I do as an adult, and this is true, guys. I have to save money, I have to save food, I have to save lives every day, one at a time. It's all damn hard, but thank God for the Jupiter digital banking app, Hold for Music, which has made saving money a tad easier. Their Money Pots feature helps you save money more efficiently. You can create a pot and set aside money to reach your goals. Goals. You can use the reverb. The reverb is great. When you do meet them, this money can be withdrawn from pots anytime. Without any charges. If only saving lives was as easy as this. Nobody else is doing it. I look like an idiot. Because I'm not joining in. Don't forget to check out Jupiter.money, or you can download the Jupiter Money app on your Android or iOS phones to get started.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
You know, with this background of the Ukrainian, well, let's call it war, the bullying that's going on that side of the border, the disparity in income in our part of the world with the inflation going through the roof and the rich still surviving, the poor dying in front of us and us just walking over their dead bodies because that's par for the course. While all this is going on, I have to deal with a big issue. People telling me you wear the same shirt again and again. I want to just put it on record once and for all so people understand that I don't wear the same shirt. I have many shirts which are the same. For example, I have 2 of these whitey shirts. I have about 5 of the blue and whitey shirts which I wear a lot of. And I have 4 of the red rugby shirts which my friend Neil White has given me. They're the same shirt, but there are 4 of them. It's like having twins or triplets or quadruplets when you aren't able to have children the old-fashioned way because of poor sperm count, because of sitting on your desk and doing podcasts day after day and not being allowed to have a life. These things happen. So you end up taking those things which give you too much sperm, and then suddenly you have 17 children, of which you only want 3. It's very similar to that. So I just have lots of shirts. They're the same shirts, but they're not that I wear the same shirt again and again. Unlike Superman and Batman, who don't even bloody change their capes.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.
Now, let's introduce some of the most interesting people the world has ever seen. I haven't actually heard from them for a long time, but these are iconic figures, super iconic figures. And before I do that, a formal welcome to Cyrus Says, brought to you by Jupiter, a banking app that helps you master your money. And here they are, arguably the highest paid radio jockeys of all time. Tarana herself is now a real estate developer on the side because of all the money she's made. 16 buildings in Lokhandwala, all the way stretching down to Parel. Behind me is my young son. He's off to lift some weights. Unfortunately or fortunately, this is the world we live in. Young people get to do that and old people have to watch. Also, Jaggu is in fact live from Dubai, I think. Am I right?
He can't hear Namaskar, Science, you sex symbol. Yes, I'm live from Dubai.
I think he's talking to you, Tamanna, because no one's in their right mind is going to use that phrase.
There is no Tamanna over here, Cyrus.
Oh, what did I say? Tarana. What did I say? Tamanna?
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. This is an age.
Your entire team is confused. I'm either Tara, Sitara or Tamanna today. What is this behavior?
So we've all got, see, dementia is catchy. People don't understand. You just touch people.
I want to call him Marzi or any other Parsi name that comes. Baman.
Why don't you just go with the name I like to be called? Mr. Ya. Mr. Chu
No,
Ya.
Mr. Ya is lovely.
Mr. Chu Ya.
Mr. Ya and Mr. Ja with Mr.
So, I'll be Mr. Ya. You be Tamanna. And that leaves us with Jaga.
Jagga is a good one.
Let's ask him first, where is he? I didn't get a clear answer.
I have multiple iterations. I have Jagga, Jaggu, Jaggu Delicious, Jagga, Jagster, all of that. Nobody calls me Jagger. Nobody calls me Jagger. I want to be Mick Jagger's pet. And that's the one iteration of my pet name nobody uses. Sax, I need you to change that.
What about Big Jugs?
That would be very appropriate. Big Jugs is...
Why an awkward pause there? What's wrong with Big Jugs?
He's conveniently not able to listen to you right now. Big
he can't
Jugs.
hear us. Let's just abuse him for 5 minutes.
Yes. I do Big Jugs. If we get to the point where I feel comfortable enough, I'll take off my t-shirt also.
No, thank you, Jaggu. No.
False advertising, Jaggu. Listen, this audience is used to some standard of jugs. Be careful. Having said that, let's move on to something more less profane.
There's only one way to find
No.
We will reveal all by the end of the episode. But in the meantime, let's go right to we have to go to the beginning. Before we go to the beginning, let's just start where we are. So now this iconic pairing, y'all are still doing the show from two different countries? What's going on? Because I can see...
We are currently in two different countries because we're trying to tempt Jaggu into coming back into Mumbai city.
But the police have given a red corner notice. What's the issue?
There is a little bit of an issue, which is why it's taking longer for him.
Right. But I can't believe it's a child ring. You know, I mean, that's just ridiculous to think that someone like Jaggu, how did he get caught in that? You know, unbelievable. But there's some supremely gifted lawyers that I have certain friendships with who I'm going to let them get in touch with you, Mr. Big Jug, and we'll sort that out. So you're permanently in Dubai. Let's just understand here.
I am permanently in Dubai till about next month, after which I will be back. Move is being plotted.
Okay. So you rehoused to Dubai. You will now rehouse again back to Mumbai, right?
Yes.
I think the heat has gotten to him.
Come back to
Too hot. Bus. It took 9 years to realize how hot it can be, but now bus.
One thing. I was in just literally I've come back a couple of days back, and I'm hearing about heat waves in north where temperature peaking at 49 degrees. That's Dubai weather. I'm not going to see much of change.
Yeah, but the lucky thing in Dubai, everything is air conditioned. Parts of the north, let me tell you, they haven't seen an air conditioner. It's a horrible story. Now, before we go forward, let's go back again for a few people who are perhaps of another generation or completely in coma or crazy and don't know the story. For me, growing up, I can't think of anybody who's bigger than you on radio back in the 90s or 2000s, whenever it was. Let's go back to how the pairing happened firstly. All right. And then we'll try and reach all the way up to where we are right now. So the first question is, did you guys know each other when you started the Tarana and Jaggu and Tarana show?
No, we didn't. I used to be on in the mornings. Jaggu used to be on in the evenings. And because Jaggu likes the female company, when his co-host went on holiday, he drove me mad and said, "Dolly, please come na, hang na. You come and I'm like, Dolly is anybody. Oh. You could be Dolly."
He took that liberty and called you Dolly, as in super friendly, over familiar.
He takes many liberties. He takes many liberties.
And then he disguises it by using it on men as well. So we can't call him out for it. Fabulous.
Yes.
Well done, Jags. Well done.
That is a strategy.
Superb.
So I decided to go hang with him and put him out of his misery. And then our bosses sort of checked in and said, "Ooh, these two sound fun together. Let's try them together." And that was it. So,
But it's amazing. I don't know if people understand that sometimes people don't get along also. So you have a lot of pairings, male, female, whatever it is, where they just don't, I mean, they can do 6 months together and they just seem awful. But you guys just hit it off immediately. And that little bit of that is just luck also, because obviously the chemistry was there for whatever reason. So now, what is your individual response to each other privately once you finish your first recording? Jaggu, you start. Come on. What do you think of her?
It wasn't that, right? For me, there wasn't going to be a deep analysis or anything like that. My co-host was on leave. I did someone. Tarana came along really kindly. We did the chatting, and it was meant to be temporary, right? Until co-host came back from leave. So there was no deep analysis. It just seemed like a lovely chat. You're sitting across a table and chatting with a friend, and there was just a great good feel to it. And that happened for a couple of days until the boss said, "Acha, to all of you all on the same show." So there was never a deep analysis. It's always a friend chatting with a friend, and as a matter of fact, that was that. So the element,
but Jaggu,
whenever we say,
sorry, but go on. Sorry.
It's like it's not just the two of us. There are three elements on the show. There is Tarana, there is Jaggu, there is the chemistry that Tarana Jaggu share. And if that wasn't there, like you said, you either get along or you don't get along. If that wasn't there, we wouldn't be doing what we do now.
But one sec, who is that co-host? Because y'all won't take a name for some reason, just say co-host. Was it a male co-host, by the way?
No, it was. Wasn't it Malini, Jaggu? Miss Malini.
It was Malini. Yeah.
Miss Malini
I had
was
a
on that iconic
in the evening.
Okay.
So there was Jack, was Malini, and my last post in the evening was Malini, and then we moved to the breakfast show, and Malini started doing her own show.
So what you're saying is Tarana was head and shoulders above the others, obviously, because then you move time as well just to stay with her for the next 35 years and still going. Don't act like you can't. You're very convenient. This technique. This is what I do with my wife. Whenever you want to get away from controversy, what? Just say what immediately. What? He's a smart boy. He's got his Wi-Fi down.
He's got the action also. It's that Hanji kya, all that.
Everybody talks slower.
Where
Listen,
are the subtitles, Cyrus? We thought there were subtitles for us when we come on your show.
don't be silly. Nobody listens to the show. Our show has now reached the point where people just watch with the mute on, so it's all fine. Okay, let's move on now. So now tell us about how it evolved, how the show went, from where it went. What were the early difficulties you had? It was a breakfast show. Is breakfast on radio tougher to do? Morning audience?
No, not audience-wise. It's pretty hard waking up at the crack of dawn. And both Jaggu and I are not really morning people. So, I mean, like for me, I am grumpy. I won't say anything until the mic goes on. So nobody at home gets to hear a good morning or a smile or nothing. It's just till I don't know, weirdly enough, the mic goes on. So the hardest part was, we've done the breakfast show for, I think, about 16 years. So 16 years of sleep has to be caught up on. That's hard. But it's personally, I find it very challenging because it's nice to put a smile on people's faces and set the mood for the day and keep everybody, no matter what mood they wake up in, by the time they've reached wherever they're supposed to or got on with their day, they're supposed to have a smile on their face. And that was what we've always strived to do.
But Tarana, let's just think for a second. So then there's a couple of hacks that you can do. You all would record like half an hour early morning and this and that for safety, right? If I remember correctly.
No, we didn't.
It was like 4 hours, right?
It was a 4-hour show. We didn't record, which is why our producer used to have a heart attack when we both overslept. And at one point, I had moved into the neighborhood where Jaggu was, and I was in charge of waking up the fatty, calling him repeatedly, "Are you awake? Are you awake?" And then he'd be like, "Yeah, relax." And then I'd go pick him up, and he wouldn't be down. And then we would both be late. And our bosses nearly fired us because I don't understand why both of you are late. And then he would say, "Aajkal ke drivers, so unreliable." I wanted to slap him.
Wow.
I take credit for Tarana's driving skills because of the practice given her in the mornings.
But what you're saying is, I'm just thinking, for me, time is the only thing I'm good at. So I'm always on time and I get frustrated in 1 minute if anybody's late. You could see we started trying to start the show. I was going mad already because of the show quality I'm not bothered about ever. All the creatives don't even pay attention. But I'm always on time and I exit on time. So for me, personally, I really have trouble working with people who aren't. So even with girls, dating them and all, anyone who's late, I've left people. I've gone on a date and she's not come down and there was no mobile phone. I've just driven off. And I'm talking about 6 minutes late. I'm not talking about 1 hour late. Yeah, Jaggu, we couldn't have been lovers. For many reasons.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Because and this is early morning where your temper's at your worst in many ways because you've not, the day hasn't taken over. So all you got is that first project. And for you, that first project is also the most important part of the day. So I'm thinking I can see where she's coming from, waiting down with the car for El Fetilo, let's call him with love, who's very nonchalant. And that body language is so irritating. Why do you guys get so calm?
Yes. Cyrus, I wanted to kill him. So the entire journey from Bandra to Tardev, which is where our studio was, we would be screaming at each other and he would be very zen. Take a chill, relax, be zen. And he would do it to irritate me. I think that's the chemistry. I'm always snapping and he's always chill.
And then suddenly
it's infuriating.
I want you to understand one thing. If she was annoyed at my lack of punctuality, I need you to what she said, right? That I'm grumpy, I'm not a morning person till the mic comes on. I'm dealing with that 16 years every morning. When she comes down and we sit in the car, I will get a hello. I don't get WhatsApp. Ask a question, the answer is something to the effect. I mean, it could literally be anything. What are we doing for lunch after the show? I mean,
Jaggu, after nearly 18 years, you should understand and be able to interpret my grunts.
Oops, ouch. If someone's just tuned in, that's very scary. Rewind. No. That's the context. Come on. That's scary. But that's amazing. So let's understand the personalities here. So Jaggu is like that only, and he remains in a happy-go-lucky frame of mind even when the mic is on and before, late, early, jo bhi hai. But for Tarana, it's totally different. She actually switches. Like a switch goes off and then a switch goes on when the mic comes on, and you're friendly and full of life and happy to talk to 200,000 people on the radio.
I like people, not that early in the morning.
God, you sound like Kunal. I'm getting very
not in
worried.
Person. And not in person. like on the radio, it's theek hai. You're looking at me and all good morning. I've done
But Indians are too familiar. You're right. We have this familiarity problem also. Either we're too shy or too familiar. No one's normal. You're right. Early morning in the lift at 7 o'clock. Why does someone have to ask you questions? There's not a time to have questions. Like, how is daddy? Paid kaisa hai? Stupid questions also. For which you have to, what kind of answers are there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why a variety of
God.
That-
Thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God it was
what's-
Jaggu to cool you down, because you and I would have driven ourselves mad.
No,
Both
why? We would be
saying-
on time, yeah, Cyrus.
We'd be on time, but we
would
want to go
have,
faster. In any
but we would have
case.
driven each other mad for sure.
We
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have,
No,
we
it's
would
a
have,
very
yeah.
type A, type B personality blend. I don't think it would have worked if we were
Yeah.
both,
Yeah, we
similar
were
in
joking
nature.
about this, but
Your conversations in the mall would have been lovely. Yeah? 30 minutes of that. Well done. I want to see that happen.
Jaggu, she's a lady. It won't take long for me to get a slap. Don't worry. It's just a matter of time. You don't have to wait 18 years. Yeah. But here's the fantastic part. You guys have been so fabulous together for so long, and perhaps 2 or 3 generations have passed through listening to you growing up, etc. Of course, you have no idea when you're doing that you're going to become this iconic couple, that you stand out in radio from everybody else, because it's this pairing. It's a boy-girl thing, as well as the fact that, I don't know, how do we explain why some people are loved by the audience? I mean, no one can explain it. It's an intangible product at the end of the day. So it's just the way it is. But I think what I thought as a listener, and because we were also somewhat in the same business, is that you guys are just really real. In that sense, you're a little ahead of your time. I mean, Jaggu just speaks like he normally speaks. There's no put on at all. And we've just seen Tarana now, lets it all hang out. She's not going to, hold back. So I think that was maybe that you were the first generation to do that. Now, of course, people are doing that more and more. The stand-up comedians, like the monkey next to you in the studio, Silvery, all these guys, they're slightly closer to reality than, say, my generation was. We were still elocuting. We were still talking to people in a slightly up way. You would lecture about the song that you're presenting and all that. But your style. So my question in this long-winded 2.5-hour question ends with just simply this: did you know what you were doing, in the sense that let's just be the guy that I am and the girl that I am and nothing more, which actually is the secret, if at least it looks like it.
But that is what radio is, right? You keep it real, because, I mean, your naked voice actually gives away a lot. People form an image of who you are, what you stand for, and it is really as real. Which is why, and Cyrus, you're also extremely real. In anything you do. We used to listen to you and you would sound real. I think our generation kept it real because...
Except my pecs, huh? My pecs aren't real.
Yeah, that's true.
Dr. Dasgupta, lovely guy. Jaggu, I'll send you the number. Special discount, but you have to be on
Send
time.
me what?
Nothing, Baba.
The
You just
number
have
of
to
his
understand.
pecs, Dr. Jaggu.
Yeah. He's
If there's money involved, something, I'm happy to do this.
We have to pay the money, Baba. We have to borrow the money, not take the money.
What? We're paying who? Gym instructor.
We'll tell you. It's much more than a gym instructor. The cost of company. That's great.
Oh.
The best interviews are when no one can hear what we're saying. We'll just carry on without Jaggu.
Also,
ladies and gentlemen.
Jaggu, you're being a terrible brand ambassador for the internet speeds in Dubai.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be like futuristic India.
Top of the line,
and
absolutely.
What is his behavior?
I don't know if it is an internet speed. It could be multiple things. With me, I'm techno spaz for all. I know I'm talking loud enough that you can.
I figured it out. I figured it out. Can I tell you what happened? It's only about 8:30 while we're recording this. 8:30, 8:40 in Dubai. It's too early. Tarana, he's just screwing with our minds. He's not up. He's not awake. He's like a zombie and he's just playing around with us. Everything's working fine. The Wi-Fi is great. You can see from his smile, but he's just playing around because he's irritated that we dare wake the lion and poke the bear at whatever 8:30, 8:40 in the Gulf. So I apologize.
Yeah,
That's because the show has this horrible timing. Yeah.
And the boy went
my
partying
interview
last
recent-
night.
The boy went
Of
partying
course
last night. Kal kya tha? Kal?
I did.
Oh, right. It's the
Kal
Gulf
kuch nahi tha.
weekend. The Gulf weekend.
Thursday. No. Weekend has
it's
become
not
Saturday,
today.
Sunday only now.
Oh, right.
Cyrus, if this interview was happening last year, where the weekend was actually Friday, Saturday, as of Jan of this year has changed to Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, that's
But if
confusing.
it would have been last year, we would have been logging on at 8:50 my morning on the weekend, which would have been a tragedy.
Wow. So let me just understand. So at the moment, what time do you normally wake up?
8:30.
Rubbish.
Oh.
Kuch bhi. 8:30.
No. Here I don't have a show at 8.
Jaggu, don't lie to everybody.
No, on a day that I don't have a show 8:30. If I have show 5 in the morning. Sorry. Okay,
One second, we would don't fast forward. I want to go slowly. Let's go back in
No,
time.
Cyrus, you have to
Yeah.
ask him what time does he wake up from his afternoon nap and how long the afternoon naps last.
Okay, I repeat the question. How long does the afternoon...
3.5 hours.
3.5 hour afternoon nap, siesta?
Yeah. Yes.
Bro, you're very rich, no? Obviously. It's not just the radio. What kind of life is this? Even politicians sleep less than this. What is going on?
No. Listen. So when we do the show and you're waking up and you don't have, well, by you, I mean, I don't have the decision to sleep at 10 o'clock and I'm sleeping at 12:31. I've slept for like 5 hours. Okay. Maybe 4 hours. So at some point in the middle of the week, all of that has caught up with me. So when we come back from the show, there's good. This doesn't happen every day. Okay, it happens maybe once a week, twice a week, where I will like there's a systemic crash. So one knocks off at like some 3 o'clock, and you wake up at 7:30 and ask for chai. What to tell you?
Anyway, if you have trouble sleeping, just listen to our shows. We have a bank of shows. You put you to sleep immediately. Just choose from our wide collection on IVM. Great sleep matter. Recommended to everybody. But let's talk a little bit about the spicy beginnings and all that. So, what were? Tell us some incidents. Tell us some things that happened. Tell us things you liked and not liked about each other. It can reveal things that you haven't revealed to each other. That would be even better. Because after 18 years, I'm wondering how much do you not know? I mean, is that a question?
No, unfortunately, he's turned into my girlfriend number 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's
He's gone for the convenient I can't hear since you've changed his
that
gender.
is happening.
Yeah.
No, there are literally no secrets. There can't be. Also, we have decided that if either one of us screws the other one over, then we don't know anything about human nature, and everything that we believe in and stand for is wrong. So we have that much faith in each other. I think the chemistry works because we have full trust and full faith in each other. That like, ye to Jaggu hai. And it's like, this is Tarana. So, it helps us not have like ego issues. We can fight. We've screamed at each other desperately. I broke a pair of headphones.
Yeah. You seem the more violent one for sure, even in this interview. This guy hasn't
shut
moved.
Up. Yeah. Shut up.
Yes.
He is the bear. He's that affable bear, but don't poke the bear.
Yeah. Oh, so he's got a bad temper?
And I do like this every day, then he blows.
Ooh, wow.
For some reason in Dubai, it got better. But when we were doing shows in Bombay, it was almost like once every 3 months, I would lose shit. I'm looking up for no good, some minor detail, like pen has moved from left to right, some nonsense like that. Why? But it's a collection of and then I lose it. The point is, Tara knows where that's coming from. So she
backs off.
She's taking off and taking off or whatever it is. She knows what I'm doing. I'm blowing off steam, and that's that. And that's the thing, right? When you spend that much time together, there's very few secrets, and we know each other's password. We've discussed, like, she's the one I will bounce off relationship thoughts to. I've seen her through assorted relationships. It's just after all this, there's not much to hide.
Okay, which brings us to the big question, the elephant that's running around the room at the moment, and which we were discussing the show, the boys at IVM yesterday, and we were discussing this, and everybody asked the same question. So I have to ask you, slightly awkward. But so there was never any relationship, although it sounds like, I mean, you sound like a married couple, and when you listen to your shows over the years, I mean, it's so difficult to believe that you guys aren't like a couple in reality as well.
Whenever we are asked, are you two a couple? My instant reaction is, ew. And Jaggu's is
that's
like,
what my wife would say.
Really, she wouldn't do
that's
that.
What a real couple, the wife would say that.
Just say
that's
no.
A real reaction of a couple.
Jaggu saying, just say no. Why do you have to say ew?
Yeah, what? She actually does. I'm sitting right there. Aren't you two in a relationship? Are you all a couple? Are you all married? She goes, why does it have to be a sound of disgust? I do this very politely. We to this day get asked that question, even though it's been established over and over again, privately, publicly, on air, and this that we're not a couple. If somebody asks, because they don't. That's why Cyrus' conversation has happened. Literally, the last time I asked was 2 weeks back. He said, "Listen, I'm sorry to be asking this. Aren't you all a couple? Don't you all live together?" Because he was trying to understand. She's in Bombay right now, and I'm in Dubai right now. You didn't really know. Aren't you a couple? Aren't you all living together? And it's a very polite. No, a lot of people assume that, but frankly, it's not, and you let off.
But fair enough.
Yeah, but it's hardest on our respective partners, Cyrus.
Yeah. Sorry?
Because
yeah, exactly.
It's very hard. Because if I'm out with a man, inevitably people are like, is that Jaggu? Hi, are you Jaggu? And then the person, and the person says, the person says no, and then they make a face. Oh,
Jaggu, look at the karma. That one insult you had to listen to, for which every boy who's been with her for 20 years had to take a beating in public. So you've got the karma reverse completely. Yeah. But let's.
But to explain this, there's a closeness relationship, but it doesn't come from the couple. I'm saying we're more like siblings. If I had to describe it in a word, we're more like siblings.
Yeah, she calls you a girlfriend. So, I mean, the perspective is similar, but siblings, it could be both sisters, whatever, fair enough. But I guess after some time, you just reach a point where it's just beyond couples. You're actually better than couples in that sense. Because you're, like you said, the interesting thing is that she knows when to back off, even though you don't get angry too often. She knows you so well that she can read the book, properly, and at any point have the right reaction. And that, if couples did that, they would never fight, for example, because the two of you can understand that. And obviously that comes from the fact that let's face it, you do spend more time than couples. And trying to think how much time do I spend with my wife over the years. You spend 4 hours every single day. More than that. There's pre and post. There's a drive involved. There's calling before that. So we're looking at about 6 hours of intense coupleship every single day. How many couples get that? How many couples could live through 6 bloody hours of being together every day? So I don't know whether it's right or wrong. Please, people listening, do not try and sit together for 6 hours. It's probably a disaster, but these guys have pulled it off in some way. So then this progressed. It became bigger and bigger. And then why the jump to Dubai? I sort of didn't remember what exactly happened. Why did you switch to Dubai?
We got headhunted, and it was quite shocking for us. And Jaggu and I had stopped doing radio together in 2009, and we'd given up on the medium, saying up to chodo, because when we're asked not to be real, then we'd rather not do the show.
Oh, they started telling you what to do?
A little bit. And you will only say this and you will only say this, and we're like, ye humse na ho paega. So chodo. So we don't like to do radio without each other, because the point is it's great fun together. If we are alone, then it's like work. Yeah, who wants to work?
It's too strong a dynamic. It's just too strong a dynamic. I can't, for people who have weaned on you and, listen to you for some years, or they go berserk if you were to separate. I can see that. I can see that happening. And it's like a curse also, because if you ever wanted to grow away apart, it's probably difficult. But on the other hand, look, I think you spend your whole life trying to find a person you can, gel with. And most people fail. That's why I have dogs. Kunal, my friend, has plants. But you guys have actually found someone who, and like he said, through breakups, romances, deaths in families, disasters around the world, pandemic, all this crap, you guys have still hung together, and the chemistry is still there on a daily basis. Anyway, so you got headhunted, went to Dubai, made lots of money. Jaggu became a real estate mogul. He owns part of Abu Dhabi and a little bit of Sharjah as well. Okay, so where are we now?
Where are we now, Jaggu?
Here's the thing. The media cycles in Dubai are oddly far shorter than what we experienced in India. So from the time that we started radio, we've always seen like a 7-8 cycle. Most of those years were good. And then a couple of years, like collapsed, income is gone, you don't have a show, this and the other. So we've seen that over the year, let's say 7-year cycles. In Dubai, the cycles are far shorter, far sharper. So I think we're done with that experience. Because as you grow older, you're also looking at stability. In your 20s, you go like, it's party out of that or what? You're having such a good time. Why are you even being paid? Now, plot is, Tarana already in Bombay. And then we start pitching together and individually. Like Tarana's always had television projects. I've always done some finance business stuff in media. So, things like that. But at least the thing is to pitch together in media. So in the OTT space, in podcasting space, in the online space and things like that. And if radio happens, it happens. We're happy where that's from.
But what happens to the name of the show? Because but the name of the show will have to keep changing when you change, but not mediums, but mediums as well. But when you go from one place to another, do you keep the name?
We try. Because we've realized over the years that nobody ever really remembers the name of any show. We used to host Good Morning Mumbai.
No, but it's known as your names are the show.
So we realized that everybody remembers Bol Kaun Raha Hai, wo Jaggu Tarana ko sunte hai. Versus Hum Good Morning Mumbai with Jaggu and Tarana sunte hai. So after, learning this,
okay, now I'm going to just confess. I used to listen to your show, especially while driving. I only do it as the Jaggu and Tarana show. I have no idea about Good Morning Mumbai. You probably said it, but that's the way it is.
There was full song and dance routine and all around it.
I know. And they probably went into the studio and they did a promo and they made the music and A.R. Rahman played it for you and all that. And we don't remember it. Yeah.
Correct.
What so tell these guys how they can save money? CTC. Himisha, just before.
How lovely Himisha is.
Yeah. I love listening to them to the extent I would listen from Singapore on one of those radio apps. They did shows from Dubai later. Yeah. That's amazing.
Himisha, you're a rock star. Thank you.
But Himisha is not the only one. You do know you have a huge fan following as well. Sorry. So you're in the process of coming back, and the same show, the name will be, well, it's irrelevant really, like I said, because you'll be known by your names as well. So when can we expect the part 17 of the Jaggu and Tarana show to roll out? As
soon as somebody is able to afford 2 people for a show. Ajkal, I think COVID has been used as an excuse. Or maybe it's ground reality, because they're like, now, ek show ke liye 2 log ko kyun le? When I can get it done with 1 person. And if quality doesn't matter and banter doesn't matter, then we don't matter. So we're like, okay, we'll wait. We will continue to talk to each other.
Yeah.
No, but it's a USP.
So here's what we're facing.
Go on.
Sorry. No, I'm saying here's what we're facing. There's something called COVID pricing, which is a discount. Like when everybody's salaries to like 20-30% lower just COVID, and now hopefully all bound back. So there's something called COVID pricing, and then there is something called king advantage of COVID pricing. That COVID pricing will sort itself over time. The king advantage of COVID pricing is not sorting any soon. And everybody in media, especially ones that are being commissioned, is dealing with it.
All right. Don't worry. I have some excellent agents. We'll take care of this completely. We ask only for 35% and maybe 2 of your relatives for life. That's it. We'll figure it out. We've got to take a break. But before we do, please stay with us. We've got in the house before they not rebrand, but recharge out of the studio with another version of the Jaggu and Tarana show. They're here with us in 2022. Just remember this. So they were here on our show first. And then, of course, we'll see where they reach as they go back in the next avatar of the same show. And I hope it remains the same show. Please. If there's a third person in that show, I will shoot somebody. It cannot be Jaggu, Tarana and Tony. I'll shoot Tony.
I'm into neat thing like literally next month when I come back. Something like Jupiter to get my fancies on this. So yes, well, thank you very much for that.
You need one Jupiter.
Very
Sir, you're right. One Jupiter will change your life. So let's go to a quick Jupiter money break. Stay with us when we come back on the other side. Silvery joins us. The man, the myth, the legend. Here's the break.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On This Round is on me, Asha Zaveri and Karan Shah of Swati Snacks shared their culinary journey with Gauri. On Shunya 1, Sheeladitya asked Darshan Patija, CEO and co-founder of Vault, about his crypto journey. On Cyrus Says, his cock and bulls, Cyrus, Puneet, Nivedita and Antariksh discussed a Madhya Pradesh man's complaint about consuming alcohol that had no kick. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita discussed Windgreen's latest acquisition and influencers turning into podcasters. And on the Musafir story, Saif and Faiza meet travel couple Ranjani and Raghavan, who take us to Rajasthan's quaint little town of Bundi. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we've been doing a series of profiles of people within the office, so do check that out for sure. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We have a page on our website, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, with a list of all our channels. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you, the listener, responds to the advertising on our network. And also, we just want to know a little bit more about you. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It will really help us build some better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app.
Longest break in the history of podcasts. 7 minutes.
Yes, that was quite long.
I took a sleep break. Jaggu would have fallen asleep for sure. I mean, it's just too long. Unbelievable. I apologize for that. But just quickly, the question we ask as Silvery joins us, is Rishi Kannan the greatest radio jockey the world has ever seen? According to him, he said yes. So I just wanted to double check.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Tarana. Hi, Jaggu. Good morning. Hello, Tarana.
Good morning, Antariksh.
And Jaggu Tarana are the greatest RJs.
No, nobody is greatest. Everybody is good.
Everybody is great.
No.
Everybody is right. Who's the greatest?
Jaggu Tarana. फिर से बोलो.
I don't know.
Jaggu Tarana. Say it. All right.
Jaggu, get this thing, the hearing aids.
No, Tarana is just playing around. Don't you understand his technique?
No, he's half deaf in 1 year or something.
Like if you see the audio trick test, whatever it is, it's a slope and all. Tum bhera type.
No, 1 second. So then there's no chemistry between you all. When she gets angry, you just can't hear what she's saying. That's why they didn't fight. Oh, God, geez, you've been fooling us. The whole thing is a rip-off. Silvery, stop the show. Put the break back on. Let's have longer breaks. Breaks are great.
Cyrus, quick fun fact. Our producer Vinay has worked with Jaggu before.
Oh, right.
And
Only Jaggu?
With whom? With Rishi K.
Oh, with Rishi K. Acha. But we've also worked with Rishi K. So then, by osmosis, Jaggu, we have worked with Vinay.
Yeah.
No, I just want to know why Vinay would put out his name as working with Rishi K, who's not part of this show. This show is about Jaggu and Tarana, who are coming back to India.
Yeah, he said I've worked with him, and I thought he said he went to Jaggu.
What's going on? Vinay should be flogged and flogged publicly. The break has to be shortened, his pants must be removed, and you must whip him delicately first. And if he enjoys it, increase the tempo. All right? Rishi Kanetkar. Oh, the cricketer. Okay,
Rishi Kannan. Just to clarify, Rishikesh Khan, and of course he's all an old buddy of ours. Someone I'm still in touch with. We have chats and things like that. So yeah, But yeah, he goes by Rishi, but it's not connect. It's
That's because
cool,
what people
lovely
do
guy.
is initially he was a rapper. He was a rapper. He was a very popular rapper in Chembur, and then it didn't go beyond that. So then he moved back to the DJ thing. But for a little while, he and Thanda Pani himself, Baba Sehgal, were the two big names. You guys won't remember; you were too young. They're even younger than me. Silvery, can you believe that? Someone younger than us.
Okay,
Right.
why is Antariksh Silvery?
Oh, that's his real name. Antariksh is his pet.
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Because spacecraft is usually silver, hence Silvery.
No,
that's a
family calls him
great,
Silvery.
actually, new explanation for this.
Yeah, it's great. Now he
that
has
we
an
can now
excuse.
use. Yeah,
Have an
because
excuse.
normally we just have to explain. Yeah,
Yeah.
But no, it's like a long story of how my brother is Goldie and how
You really
Cyrus
have a
Says-
brother called Goldie?
I mean, his actual name is Anirudh, but
Everyone
his
calls
pet
him
name,
Goldie.
yeah, we're Punjabi, so we all have like weird.
Then
pet
you
names,
have
know?
you have to be
Yeah,
Silvery.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
You have to be.
the dog is Tarana. The dog is Rajinder. They are Goldie and Silvery. It's just
Of
a
course.
typical Punjabi story, and how do we explain it? Yeah.
Yes, correct. So you guys also, Jaggu and Tarana, you guys did a podcast together as well called The Odd Couple with Jaggu and Tarana.
Yeah.
Is that still going? And what's that? What is the podcast about? If you could tell us.
So it was we did it for over 2 years, and it's we make the oddest couple. My aunt kind of called named the show for us because like most people think you're a couple, but you all make a really odd couple.
You are a
And
couple.
we're an odd couple.
Yeah, so
We're
you're not a
constantly
conventional couple,
together.
but you're a couple. Yeah.
Yes. Also, really odd things catch our eye and interest us, and inevitably, what interests me is completely different from what interests Jaggu. So then combined together, there is a huge collection of really odd stuff that catch our eye, and then we like to tell people about it. People seem to enjoy the odd take that we have on odd happenings in the world because, the world is seriously full of like gems.
In the old days, instead of odd, they would use the word queer. But now, if I say you're a queer couple, I don't know if people will take that, not understand what the point of that matter is. Because queer just means like peculiar or odd. But for some reason, now people have hijacked it to explain sexuality. And I want to just put it on record. As far as I know, Jaggu and Tarana, you all are not that way inclined. This is the platform for you to be open and honest. Our audience doesn't judge. Having listened to us, there's nothing to judge. They just, please be open and honest here. Say whatever you want. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
I have
Silvery.
another question. But
let's get the AMAs a little more because I'm sure we'll have a lot of people who want to ask them questions.
We have quite a few, yes.
Yeah,
but before that, just
we also
quickly,
have a very odd couple, Cyrus and Antariksh. That is true.
Sure, yes.
Why are you
And
calling him
Cyrus and
Antariksh?
Kunal.
He's been
Cyrus and Kunal
renamed.
also
Sorry,
very much so, yes.
Silvery.
In Bengali, we say Silvery. Otherwise, you can say Silvery, whichever you want.
Okay,
Cool. Go on.
All right. I have another question about. You've interviewed a lot of huge celebrities and actors as well. Has your experience been with like celebrity publicists and PR people? Have they been like told you कि इसके बारे में बात मत करना or talk particularly only about this one thing? Has that ever happened? Or any weird stories that you can tell us maybe about publicists saying कि don't talk about this?
But you realize that Jaggu, the publicists usually don't really tell us anything, and if anybody asks us what are you going to ask, we never give them questions because
we don't
know. We do research and then it's conversation.
Yeah, it's rare that somebody will ask for questions at once, and if you do, that generic questions can always be put. I think what publicists sometimes say because it's their job is that don't hear they don't put a restriction on what you can or cannot ask. They would very much like to stick to the event or whatever that is being promoted.
Film or something. Yeah.
So we nod our heads politely, and when we talk about whatever we like, and the guests are usually fine with it because it just makes for a better interview. Here, is very good, so co-star is very good, and okay, we take 5 minutes to do that, and then go round and round. We have a listener that we want to worry about. You want the listener to have a 360-degree experience. We don't want to read brochures.
Am I the only one who's only gathering 1 or 2 words of each sentence that Jaggu says? Or is it all of us?
I mean, we get the gist.
It's like talking to a 4-year-old now, when the 4-year-old's trying to themselves and you don't want to displease them, so you're doing your best, But
should I paraphrase or translate? I've done it all my life.
Now, really, yeah.
What he said actually means this. But PP. So yes, in a nutshell, publicists will insist that we talk about the film or the show that the person has come to promote. But we think it's extremely boring, and the actor also gets bored of saying, इस role के लिए मैंने इतनी preparation की, and what was it like to work with this director? They don't want to hear those. answer those questions repeatedly. So we try and do like maybe 1 minute of that entire 15-minute interview or 2 minutes about the film, beginning and end, and beech mein whatever else, yeah. And the thing is, because we've been around for so many years, a lot of stars used to listen to us. So we don't feel conscious around them, and they don't feel conscious, and they don't treat us like, oh, abhi koi interview lene aaya hai. It's like they're hanging in a room full of, friends.
Yes, Cyrus.
Yeah, that's the advantage of seeing your show, listening to your show. So they already think they know you and they feel comfortable. But how many of them touch themselves or you in an inappropriate manner? Can you give me the list?
Only with Jaggu. It's only happened with Jaggu.
I mean, who can blame them?
Inappropriate, man. What?
Now it's convenient.
What
for
a
you to
lovely
drop
line
your
you
Wi-Fi.
missed, yeah, Jaggu.
Yeah.
Cyrus, you have to talk extremely
I
loudly
heard
to
Jaggu
Jaggu,
and
then
I
he
heard-
hears.
No, I heard the inappropriate man and I heard Jaggu. So now I'm a little worried about what has happened.
It is somewhere there. The equation is correct. Now do what you want with it. Do your maths. It's somewhere there. You are right, sir. Well done. But in the meantime, let's try and squeeze those AMAs in.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
sure-
No. Last.
Okay, quick. Huh.
Again for Jaggu and Tarana. If Cyrus were to join your podcast, your show, what role could he play on the show? Like, what would
break.
he be? You think the correspondent of?
He would give us a break, because if Cyrus is there, then two of us will be like, "Tu bol yaar." I mean, and then we'll do the reverb for him. Cyrus says.
Can you imagine a 50-year-old man and they're doing reverb? Tell me. Oh my God, yeah. But we do it in a podcast. We have 6. Yesterday we had 5 people in the room and it was fun, a lot of energy. But I always think it's difficult to pick up after some time because everyone's talking together like a bar. But these two, if you said, did you hear their show or were you too young? No, you're not too young.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. I used to hear a little bit. Yes.
Liar.
So
I
they
did,
can
absolutely,
get really the band.
I
They
used
can
to listen to
get
radio a lot.
the band can get really like right there. They're almost like screaming at. It goes from like really low to really high in just the course of 5 minutes. But you pick up every word because there's 2 people talking. You put a third person in and you start losing the words. Sooner or later, especially if all 3 like to talk. Jaggu will revisit the show to see what all they spoke about him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaggu, check out the show on IBM podcast.
Poor Jaggu.
Okay.
All right.
You're the people pleaser, right? Or then desperately seeking the one? Oh wait, you're the one who doesn't think they're ever good enough. So much drama. And for what? Is it doing you any good? Listen to me. I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach. Yes, I'm the one who has been dropping all those truth bombs on every episode. And it's time you learn to say no to drama. That's also what my podcast is called. And a new episode is out every Monday and Wednesday on the IVM Podcast app, website, as well as all major podcasting platforms.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Can we take some AMAs? Brother Silvery.
Yeah, Cyrus, let's go. All right, the first AMA comes in from, again, Shavik Bakshi only. He says, Cyrus, could you please share your craziest VJ story? Also, share the biggest scam of the century where Ranbir Kapoor said he's your fan and will call you to his marriage. He pulled the best bakra on you.
I never said that, but that was in the Red FM studio, their rival thing. So we were doing some recording and he was in for promoting some film, and they said just come and say hello. So I went to say hello to Ranbir Kapoor, and he used the word ledge. It made me feel really embarrassed. He said all kinds of big words. I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not, because nobody says nice things to me normally. The watchman stops me at Red FM, generally speaking, so forget Ranbir Kapoor. And then he said things like, you're the ledge, man, and did all this, And so then suddenly they all started giving me respect the next day onwards in Red FM. Because until then, they were like, Buddha kaun hai? Hindi mein bolte hai barabar. Who is this guy? And then suddenly, Ranbir Kapoor says all these things. But he didn't call me to the wedding. He just said nice things. Yeah. What could I do? I was actually caught off guard. Does that happen to you ever? When somebody's really praising you in public, you don't have any idea that was going to happen. I'm sure that's a little more difficult to deal with than when they are slightly abusive or mean-spirited. I think at least I'm more prepared for that. The heckler, the smart aleck, the tongue-in-cheek remark. So these things really, because you don't want to sound ungracious, but you have nothing. Because you can't believe what they're saying is true. It just sounds wrong. Yeah.
I get I'll tell you what psychs me by when you meet the listeners and you meet the fact that when they're like, oh my God, you're so humble for a celebrity, and I'm like, I'm not a celebrity, please. And the constant argument is, no, you're not celebrities, and we're like, we are not celebrities. And we want massive like Cyrus, you're a celebrity. You're like, no, nobody normal will ever say, yeah, I'm a celebrity.
Okay, I'll stop. You convinced me. Okay, one sec. Vinay is saying I've worked with Jaggu now. I'm a little confused. He sent a message on the chat.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what I thought also he meant. But no, him means Rishikesh.
He still means somebody else.
What is wrong with Vinay?
Yeah.
What is the point of telling us he worked with? It's like me telling them that I shot with Siddharth Kannan or something. I mean, there's no point to that. There's no connection.
Yeah, he has worked with Siddharth Kannan also, just saying.
Oh, I think we have to look at whatever medication.
And we've hung out lots with Kunal, Cyrus, just, while we're
Kunal's
swapping.
birthday yesterday is 68 years old.
Yeah.
I know.
Tarana, 68.
He doesn't look a day above 58.
No. Waist downwards, he's 78. How do I know is another story.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Yes. Next one comes in from...
Jaggu's talking. Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Just want to go back to celebrity question. Tarana is deeply humble when she meets a listener, a viewer, or whatever it is. But the person who is meeting her is very Gaga about I met Tarana. Now, mind you, Tarana not only on radio but also a television star as well as a movie star. So she gets recognized. And I walked out in malls. I have now become, aside from co-host, also become personal photographer. So I will take a photograph. At the point where I don't wait, he asked, I said, Aapka phone mein photo nikhta. I mean, get into the headache of he politely asked and things like that. You will want you to frame. You want
Jaggu. Jaggu. What will be really funny is if they go to one and say, Tarana, Jaggu Tarana show ka. Wow. And then call you and say, boss, fake photo. Immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's superb. All right.
Next one comes in from Radhe Charwak. Is this a very nice comment? He said, or she says, first VJ for me is Tarana. When she used to present 5 songs countdown in Subah Savere, a morning show on DD. Tarana, love you.
Oh,
please pass this message.
Thank you, Radhe. But I don't think I hosted Subha Savere because Subha Savere I used to be on radio. But I used to do DD Top 10 and I used to do Chitrahar.
She could have made a mistake with you and the show.
Correct.
She made a mistake with the name. That's allowed because Alzheimer's,
That
let me
is
tell
fully
you,
allowed.
dementia is part of that and we all have
No,
that
but I was
problem.
also thinking, damn, did I do
I
it?
do the wrong name without knowing I've done it. And I'm doing it all the time with everybody now. Okay, so let's not point fingers.
It's Antariksh, Cyrus. It's Antariksh.
It's Funkterish.
No.
All right. Rohit Atre has another cool comment. He says, Jaggu and Tarana made studying for MBBS exams fun.
Oh.
This is again so cool.
Rohit, how cool are you? No, I'm very, very studious, or at least I was when I was in school and college. And I used to listen to music and study. And I've always maintained that you can do like maths and physics and chemistry along with music. And nobody seems to have supported me. But if he used to study and do it along with us and all, then yay. Rohit, thank you.
Yeah. He also has another question though. He
I
says,
can't even make love with music. I get so distracted. It all depends on your mindset.
Not the kind of music
the rhythm throws you off, Cyrus. Is it?
I'm old-fashioned. I listen to music which has lyrics that you can hear. So it's a little different. Don't start me off. We didn't have time to ask you.
I try EDM. It will work for you.
No, Baba, I can't. After 1971, when Bangladesh was formed, I lost interest in globalization completely. I cannot take anything more. Yeah. Now he can't hear me. Can we abuse Jaggu for 5 minutes? Just do a sound check. Jaggu, you bastard! Jaggu, you bastard!
No. I got the gist of it. It's a really EDM has a thumping beat.
Give us the beat.
Yes.
I think he's just come back from the disco.
Moving on quickly.
Yeah.
Moving on quickly, acha. Huh?
Okay. All right. Rohit Atre has another question. He says, JNT, do your favorite songs reflect the difference in your personalities as well? Also, could you make Cyrus introduce his show in your style? So, what are your favorite songs? And let's see what they say about your personalities.
I to listen to everything.
I like the JNT.
JNT. Yeah.
That could be the name of your new show. Rohit can get you can give him a little finder's fee. The new show when you relaunch, what's wrong with JNT? Anyway, they'll say Jaggu and Tarana, but you can just call it the JNT show. I think that's super catchy.
We could.
Done.
We could.
We
sign off emails.
Yes,
we do sign off emails saying JNT.
And poor Rohit Atre, we stolen it from him. Screw you, Rohit. How dare you pass it on to us? There's no copyright infringement. It's now ours. Huh? Yeah, here you go. Done.
But guys, do your favorite songs reflect the difference in your personalities as well?
I tend to listen to a lot of different music. Jaggu loves Sean Paul, by the way. Shake that thing, miss. Kana. You make him dance to it. He loves it.
Now you can hear
Whenever it comes on, it's like an automatic head bob situation. No, we both of us have very taste in music, and actually, I can't even say this genre is my favorite, whatever it is.
Ooh, Jaggu also
one of the things we do
pretends to
radios-
like Indian classical music
What do you mean pretends to like?
because
No,
he has
no.
dragged me. Shut up. He dragged me to. So in Dubai. So classical music. I like classic, and he dragged me to the opera because the opera house had just launched, and it's like beautiful building, and this. I thought I was going to see an opera, which meant there would be
Western
acting
classical.
and singing and all of that, but it was just like apparently legends playing just instrumental music, and it was very pakao for me. But I'm still like, no, I must
Western classical.
soak in this culture, and he was listening like this. So I'm like, Jaggu, you fell asleep, and he said, no, I'm concentrating.
It was Domingo. What are you saying?
Yeah, it
I
was
think
Domingo.
Domingo was calm, and she said, what is this nonsense?
You took her to see Placido Domingo perform, and she was not impressed.
Yes.
No,
I
I was
can't do the
watching,
show.
but Jaggu
I
was
can't do the
asleep. Jaggu was
Jaggu was
asleep.
asleep.
I
And you
watched,
fell
and I was
asleep
like,
on
very
Domingo.
nice.
You
According to
Sean
him, he
Paul,
was not
mother.
asleep.
I want you to now imagine Placido Domingo singing on. I want you to visualize that for a minute. And what a beautiful thing it would be.
And Indian classical music also, he pretends he likes and goes very often for all these concerts.
No, but now Jaggu cannot enter a Parsi household again. He is Badnaam Domingo himself. This is I don't know how to bring this back. I'll try and use friends. We'll talk to people. I'll do what I can, but I don't know, brother, if you can come back from this one. This is huge. Now, Indian classical you don't like either, but you pretend to, or that's a different story?
No, I enjoy Indian classical too. I can't say I understand it very. In all honesty, I can go into that. I don't know that the whole rock system. I don't get. I just enjoy the sound of it. So when I go there and I listen to it, I'm quite pleased. Yeah. Also, it is far more advanced in that
But
system.
can you do some like Carnatic? Can you do some Carnatic? Can you do some
Jaggu,
Carnatic vocalizing?
he does it very nicely.
Yeah,
He does Hindustani very well.
Your alaps or whatever.
You want me to sing?
Hindustani classical. If you can just give us a little taste, because apparently you have a little talent with someone.
Wow.
When greats now
And now-
turn their graves and come back onto me.
No, Jaggu, now
This will
besides
have-
me, everybody knows
No,
what you
this-
sound like when you gargle.
This was Bimsane Domingo. This was a mix. This was a myriad of different voices. This is fabulous talent. This is very different. We got to save this for another day completely. This show. Yeah. All right. Can we?
Grim Fandango has asked, TNJ, do you guys speak Arabic now?
Arey no, Jaggu's Arabic is on point. He knows one line very nicely and he can do it in many, many different styles.
Go on. Let's hear
Jaggu,
it.
come on.
Jaggu.
So there's
Jaggu.
Ababu Tughlaq, which is the doors are closing. First, this is what happens in the Dubai. So you'd walk in. I think it's
Planes.
the doors are closing and Ababu Tufta, the doors are opening. Something like that. Now, I remember hearing and I'm like,
Silvery.
don't know what I'm saying. What am I supposed to do? So then we realized it's a lovely phrase that it can be said in so many ways with such emotion that it just works. You remember that Osho thing where you use the word F ... can use to express so many things.
Yeah.
Similar situation, you can get angry. It can be romantic. It can be query. It can be many things. And we do this on radio over and over again. I think at some point, Rana, we came up with like 10-15 things we could do.
Only
So,
you.
yeah, we
So,
just-
Jaggu, in 9 years in Dubai, he has learned doors are closing. Al-Abwabu
What I like
Tughlaq.
is how he tried to drag Tarana into it. Like, it's our thing. He said it's so clearly it's not our thing. You're a moron. You know one line and you're comparing it to the famous Rajni speech on the word FUCK, which is like ridiculous, honestly. Wow, that's great. But just this is the only line you speak after so many years there.
And we know Shukran and we know Mabruk.
So I think we'll pick that up on the plane. I mean, really, guys?
And Habi and Hapti.
Wow.
Habibi. And
Habibi's
yeah.
friend. Yes,
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes.
There's no question. You need to come
Arey,
back.
so many years in Bombay and Marathi is still like bakwas for me.
But that's
Maybe
a
we're just
political
not good at
stand.
languages.
Tarana, you've taken
I'm
a
not taking a political
stand.
stand.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I understand. This divide is going on between South and North at the moment, Hindi versus non-Hindi and all that. You decided to say, look, I don't want to be forced to speak this other language, and I respect that. Silvery also. Silvery was given a chalan in Marathi, and he went berserk.
Yeah,
he was like, boss, ye kya hai?
Yeah, that actually happened. Yes, it is actually true. They gave me a chalan, and the paper was all Marathi.
Yeah.
And I couldn't read it, and I asked him, and it was very faded. Like they didn't want me to read it probably because they were scamming me. I got scammed by cops. It's a long story.
This country is great because you can switch languages and screw. Someone will get screwed. All you got to do is keep trying.
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastic. All right, let's squeeze one more in fast, guys.
This last one comes in from Karan Sethi. Yeah, Karan Sethi asks, as radio host, they would speak directly in interview. Which persons did they enjoy interviewing, and who was a tough interview other than A.R. Rahman?
Were there bad interviews that you recall? Bad as in not flowing? No, I suppose there was one really mean or something, but there are dull guests.
Yeah, there are some.
Yeah.
But I mean, it helps that we know how to fill in the gaps and coax
Or you
sort
just
of
ignore
answers.
them and talk amongst yourselves. Yeah.
That is also there. I mean, you know, that's our default plan.
Who's more rude?
Yeah.
But is one of you more rude, like more aggressive with guests who are not forthcoming?
We had Shaggy once come into the studio, and he was and he landed and he was listening to us on the way to the studio. I didn't realize that he was going to be doing his due diligence, and he came in and he said, you don't look as scary as you sound.
Would you speak primarily in Hindi? What would you have picked up?
Those days we used to talk in English. That's why Shaggy was coming.
Okay.
Oh, wow. But how was that? How was the interview with Shaggy?
But he must have been good.
Good fun. Good fun. He was damn good.
Mr. Lava.
And Cyrus,
this is during the time of Yeah.
I don't even remember.
He came MTV. We brought him down, if I remember correctly.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
He was big.
And
Silvery was very big in all the.
Yeah, he was very
circuit, all
big.
the
That
people
one
who hired
song
him
was
to sing.
super famous.
Yeah. Oh, Carol.
all his songs.
No. So sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry,
Yeah,
Shaggy's.
Mr. Lava.
Oh God.
Yeah. Hey, sexy lady.
He's
and,
talking about Usher, I think.
Yeah, I was saying Usher. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
he's
it's
doing,
like a racist comment
I
that you
love
made just
Shaggy.
Yeah,
Should
Shaggy
we
is
invite from the panel?
sexy lady and.
Should we go there,
this other
guys?
one.
Should we go there with
Angel.
that thinking, or we let it drop? We'll let it drop.
Let it go.
Bichara Silvery is now like making up by giving us all Shaggy
Overcompensating.
songs.
I know
Give us
Shaggy.
five.
I know Shaggy.
He gave us
Really
five. He gave us
incorrect
5
comment.
songs.
Silvery, you're fired.
Red-handed is good
You
song.
go straight into the break. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, sorry, but I've got to go to the proctologist for this problem I have. Hopefully, he'll take care of it today. He's old, but he's lovely. Beautiful hands, Jaggu, beautiful hands. But just listen, what a great time we've had listening to you. And just want to salute you for all that you've done and what fantastic presence you've had on radio for such a long time with so many people. I think you should join politics. I feel you have a future. If you too, but you have to stand together with your own party. The JNT party, you got the party right. And you can say yes or no to Marathi, that you decide, Tarana. I'm not going to interfere with your political manifesto. But I feel, Sylvie, will you back me on this? They will do well. They've got a huge following. They've got a huge following across generations. Hemisha has mentioned back in Singapore on the day, etc., right up till now. So it's and across the Asian continent and beyond. So what do you say?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll join the
vote
party.
for JNT.
I'll leave the Brocha Janta party and join the JNT party.
No. You stay with me, Baba.
We'll do a coalition. We'll come together.
This country is
we all need to come together.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, no pun intended. Okay, fair enough. On this wonderful note, we have to end. But thank you guys, Jaggu Tarana. They will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. They're going to come back big and better and bigger than ever before in hopefully very short time. So until then, it's bye-bye from us on this horrible show called Cyrus Says. Silvery will take us out with some Carnatic vocals. Silvery! Yeah, you get what you pay for, guys.
Yes.
All right, don't forget to download the Jupiter Money app on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
We face 100 dilemmas every day while raising our children and nurturing our families. Why not let science help us make informed decisions to solve our dilemmas? Hi, I'm Devi Shobha.
And I'm Meghna. We host Big Talk About Tiny Humans, where we will help you unpack challenges around parenting and your child's development.
And more importantly, we will equip you with research-backed strategies that you can readily act on.
Tune in to our podcast every Wednesday on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or your favorite podcast platforms.